I think it was back in 2016 when I first bought Shovel Knight. I feel like everyone was going crazy about it. An indie company just came out of nowhere and created a universally loved experience with consistent and free DLC. What's not to love? I probably played the game for an hour and a half, maybe. I don't know. I just wasn't having a good time. It was frustrating. I didn't understand how anything worked. It was too much reading. I gave it a go, but it really wasn't for me. And there the game sat, uninstalled in my Steam library for years and years. Until a friend and I gave the co-op a try. It was such a delightful game. We played for hours. Everything started to click into place. Oh, so one of those is 2 health. And you can respawn, but it's going to take half of my health. Oh man, we're only 300 coins away from the next meal kit. It was a blast. And it's not really like the game changed at all. It was still hard and confusing like back in 2016, but my attitude was completely different. I reveled in the challenge, and I guess playing the game co-op didn't hurt either. We encouraged each other to keep going and just laughed at the mistakes. It was so much fun, and I might have never had these experiences if we didn't randomly decide to boot up this 7-year-old game. Shovel Knight isn't the only example of this phenomenon for me either. I had similar experiences with Undertale, Portal, Factorio, even Breath of the Wild. The first time I played that game, I didn't really care for it all that much, until years later I came back and the game absolutely floored me. Never have I felt that level of freedom in a game before. How did I not like this the first time through? So what is it? How can these games go from so mediocre to some of my favorites? I don't really know. Maybe for me, it was playing with others that made the difference. Playing with someone else made the boring moments interesting and the interesting moments fascinating. Just like how watching movies with others is a completely different experience than watching one by yourself. But sometimes it's just me. That was Breath of the Wild. I started the game up again, fought through the pushback, until I loved the excitement of exploring the world and learning the intricacies of everything there is to see and do. Okay, then maybe it's more about the mindset you have. If you're sick and tired of open world RPGs, and you throw yourself into Breath of the Wild, it's gonna feel like you're going through the motions. But if you switch things up with a game like Firewatch, which has a much tighter narrative, you might find yourself enthralled by the new experience. But both of these answers to the question why you should give games a second chance feel shallow. Like there's some deeper understanding that I'm glossing over. Something about human nature or personal experience that solves the problem. But I'm not a psychologist, and I don't have an answer for you. Instead, I have a recommendation. Push through the growing pains and actually give your new video games a try. I feel like when I've been playing games lately, I make snap decisions about whether I like something or not before I really even get into it. Sure, there's something to be said about games not wasting your time or getting right into the action, but I don't often give video games or movies or books room to breathe before I've made up my mind about them. In a world where everything is constantly fighting for our attention, consciously offering it up to an experience could lead to your next favorite adventure. Instead of buying the next $60 or $70 AAA title, first give a second look to what you already have, because maybe your next best gaming experience isn't on the front page of Steam. Maybe it's already in your library.